Good morning. Time to be in the garden. Good morning. Well, day 2 of my vlogging, and I have to say, as I'm out here in one of my happiest places in my home, which is my garden, I actually want to talk about already how I started my day with creating my happy, and actually has nothing to do with me. It has to do with all of you. I have to tell you, the comments, the text messages, the calls, the response from yesterday's vlog, oh my gosh, my cup literally overfloweth with the hearts and the positivity and the just awesomeness you all shared with me. So I just want to start today by saying thank you for your love and your prayers and your positivity. That is the magic of social media, in my opinion, because I have people who I haven't spoken to. Literally, one of my long lost friends from over 30 plus years ago reached out, and to have her giving me a big warm hug from all the way in the middle of the Pacific, come on now, how could you not love that? So let's just start today by saying, beautiful day in a beautiful place. I have beautiful souls and hearts all sharing the love, and I want to throw that right back at all of you. So let's get this day started. Let's go. Last week, this place was a mess, but last week was also when I got fired. So I have to tell you, I spent a ton of time out here cleaning up my blueberry bush beds. So as you see, they're just starting to bloom. The leaves have that beautiful new spring growth on it. And look, there's a bumblebee right there. Hello, bumblebee. But here is where you can see all the future fruit starting to come in with the flowers. So looking forward to protecting these from the birds so that the Buchanan family can enjoy a bunch of blueberries on their breakfast plates. Another area that I absolutely love are peonies. And so years ago, I planted some peonies. I forget if this is the Karl Lagerfeld color. It's a really beautiful red, but I have a Karl Lagerfeld, and you can see right there. You see that little bud? Oh my gosh, that bud makes me so happy. These buds become beautiful, huge peony blossoms. And I'm really trying to learn how to cultivate these better when it comes to when to actually harvest them and put them in vases. But anyway, super excited about that one. If I come down here, I forget the name of it, but this is another peony that when it comes in, it's this beautiful, bright yellow, super happy, full of sunshine. There's some echinacea coming in. Some daylilies, and not daylilies, those aren't daylilies. Somebody out there will correct me, but those are some really pretty flowers that are about to come up, and some other types of daisies. And then here are more peony. And then as I look down there, I have a fourth bush of peony. I think that's another Karl Lagerfelder red. But where I'm going, you guys, is I am not a gardener. I am an accidental gardener. And all 4, I can go this way, all 4 of these peony I planted right around 2020. And they just come back year after year. And all I need to do is to make sure I clean them up in the spring, because I always forget in the winter. And they have been only sweet to me. Have only been given back a ton of love. So looking forward to seeing. Oh, there's another one. Do you see the little bud there in the middle? I'm so excited. Can't wait to see these in full bloom, probably in less than a month. Now let's go inside. Here's where the magic is. And if you could see this place just last week. Oh, I neglected it so badly. I wish I had taken a before and after picture. But in this area, these are my spring beds. So some of the stuff is meant for just spring crops, and others here are going to be for long term. Underneath over here, I have some spring onions that I hope I didn't plant too late, but that's what's covered in the straw. Over here, we have some sweet pea peas that'll come in. So those should start showing up. Hopefully, I would say in the next week or so. Sometimes it's a little delayed depending on our weather. But right now, The only thing that's active in here, that's a little thing of rosemary coming up. Over here though, let's get ready to rumble. Look at the asparagus, you guys. Oh my gosh, how happy am I with this? These little asparagus plants, this comes from 2 little asparagus plants that I bought. I think, you know, when you go to Home Depot and you get those pre-packaged things that they're sitting in dirt in the inside of Home Depot. I grabbed asparagus, and 4 years ago I planted these in there, and every year they've been giving me more and more, but I am just super excited about this. Like, watch this. It's so easy to harvest. You just go down to one of the knobs down here and you just go snap. There you go. Ooh. There you go. There's a ridiculously long asparagus that's gonna go into my breakfast this morning. Yummers. I mean, come on now. This is enormous. Nothing is like fresh asparagus that you just harvest. It literally is sweet. It's like vegetable candy. That's my opinion, at least. Okay, so now let me also show you the rest of the stuff I planted in my, we'll call it the postpartum being terminated days. You know, the last week, it was really about trying to do something productive and plant. So I had fun planting some broccoli and cauliflower and kale. So let me just show you what I put in here. All right, so here are some chives. We have some oregano. We have some thyme. I'm hoping these guys are going to turn into more of a perennial crop. We'll see if they come back again next year. But all the rest of the stuff, these are annual. So you have snow crown cauliflower that a couple of years ago I did pretty well with. Over here, I have some Destiny broccoli, and they're actually taking pretty quickly. I have to tell you, these are already twice the size they were last week. Over here, Brussels sprouts, which I'm really curious how these are going to come in, because last year when I had them, they got totally eaten by bugs. So didn't get to enjoy Brussels sprouts. So I have to keep my eyes on these just to make sure they don't get eaten. And then over here, I have some kale. And all of these are happy companion plants together. They all like to live next to each other. So that's why I purposely planted them in the bed. And then we also have some sage that I'm also hoping takes next to the asparagus as a long-term perennial herb. Now here's where I'm really excited, and talk about making me happy. So last week, in addition to planting what I just showed you, I also put down my seeds for lettuce. And lettuce, you know, is one of the easiest crops you can plant. But one thing you got to remember is you got to keep the seeds wet when they're germinating, because lettuce seeds swell because of the water, and they need to continue that swell to be able to germinate properly so that you can get a nice lettuce crop. If you haven't turned your irrigation on yet, which I haven't either, like we are not getting our water turned on until I think next week, you got to make sure you're watering it every day, or that the forecast is going to give you a lot of rain on the days that you don't want to water. And luckily, I've been on top of that. Sometimes, here's the benefit of not being in work. Sometimes when I had too many meetings, I would forget to take care of that. So my lettuce crops in the past didn't always take immediately. Well, because of my extra attentiveness this week, or the past few days, I was able to water every day. So let me show you. I'm excited. I'm starting to see some seeds coming up, and they've only been down for like 5 days. So let's take a peek. All right, so this is the bed that I put the lettuce in, and you're gonna see if I go really close. Do you see the little tiny lettuce coming up? Oh my gosh, there they are. Some of this is called our leafy lettuce. So having them clustered close to each other is fine. As I go over here, I believe I have a couple that are head lettuce, like iceberg or romaine. So what I need to do as they get a little bigger, I'm going to have to thin them out so they have the ability to create those heads so they're thicker. But you guys, I don't know if you can see them, even over here. Look, do you see? There's the little lettuce. It's coming up. I'm so excited. Let's move this guy. So anyway, I'm going to water these today to make sure they continue to grow. But we got positivity happening here, you guys. Lettuce time. Salad for days. I also don't want to forget that there's right next to the lettuce with this kind of little teepee looking thingy here. I planted more peas there. So fingers crossed, those will start to show sprouts shortly. There's actually a random, I don't know, can you see it in this shot? See right there? That's a random sunflower that's growing. I had I guess a seed that just germinated early this spring, so I'm not disturbing it. I'm gonna let it just sit there and do its thing, and let's see what beauty it brings in a few weeks. And then the last bed I wanna show you all has to do with cutting flowers. So I found that, again, because of my schedule, sometimes I'm not so great at maintaining the maintenance of a vegetable and its different stages that you need to be paying attention, especially when it comes to bug maintenance. So I found that the last 2 years, I'm transitioning more to cut flowers, and that still works really well for me. I love cut flowers. For those of you who know me or have seen previous videos, I love decorating with flowers. So this year I am doing my first bed of snapdragons. And so let me just turn the camera around so you can see. So here, let me get my shadow out of the way. Here is an entire bed of snapdragons. And one thing I just wanted to point out to you, I have one that sadly isn't gonna make it, but if you look at the snapdragons, and I'm going to see if you can see it from this angle, you'll notice that I cut right about, there's 2 levels of leaves, and then I made a cut. And now there are little side shoots coming up. This is important for you to do. If you're going to buy any snapdragon seedlings from the nursery or from Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever you buy your perennials, you want to make sure with snapdragons, to really maximize the flowering you're going to get, you want to make sure if they come and there's already a stalk, like, ooh, the sun is so bad, so sorry. Right here, this had a little shoot of flowers already on it. That's going to, number one, stunt the growth, but it's also going to only make it be leggy, and it's only going to produce one stalk consistently. By going through and chopping all of these down to just the 2 layers of leaves, within just a week, you guys, you can see it's already creating extra shoots. And why that's important is because now I'm going to get 2 stalks of snapdragons coming out of there. You can even see here, as they say in Hawaii, this is a little cakey shoot on the side. What I'll do, probably next couple of days, is even cut this one so this produces, because it's already trying to give a flower. And you don't want it to give flowers yet. You want it to get big and strong and bushy and then do the flowers and then start doing your cuts so that these can produce snapdragons throughout the majority of the season. So you can really maximize the investment of the time and energy you're putting into caring for this plant. So really excited about this. And then in the little holes down there that you don't see any snapdragons, I am hopefully going to have some Delilahs coming up. I planted some Delilahs down there, and then over here in the shade at this time, the sun hasn't hit yet, but there's some Delilahs down in this area too. And here I did some transplanting of, are they called clematis? I think that's how you pronounce it properly. But this vine, last week, I had them on the opposite side. Let me not get you sick. I'm going to turn around. It was growing from this corner here, and it really loved this corner because there's a lot of water that just comes down and just constantly fed it. The problem is it covered this entire side, and you can sort of see I have a grapevine there, and it was starting to fight with the grapevine. It also took away a lot of the sun from things growing in the bed. So I removed the clematis from there, and I transplanted it over here. So fingers crossed, in a few weeks, not only is this getting reestablished, but you'll see a huge curtain of purple flowers, and the goal is to train it so that this vine goes all along here. Oops, sorry, all along here. So it's like a nice backdrop to the rest of the garden. So excited. There's so much progress, and only in 1 week. 1 week that I was unemployed. But I know I'm being silly, but seriously, this is what I mean by creating your happy. Get yourself something to do every day, whether it's going for a walk, doing a hobby, just so that you set the tone for your day so that as I, in about an hour, turn around and sit at that computer and start applying for more jobs and networking my tail off, I've already set the tone for my soul. And that's what this is all about. So one last thing, I'm going to quickly do one final chore this morning in the garden. I'm going to take you out of the vegetable garden and take you to some hydrangeas. So let's go. Me again. All right. So just to let you know, we have hydrangeas in the back of our garden in two spaces. One right behind me. This is what I call my secret garden. This has our little fountain that'll get turned on next week, which I'm super excited about. But there are endless summer hydrangeas that go all the way around. A lot of damage over the last winter. Had to cut a lot of foliage off. So I took care of that last week. But what my today's chore is, which I shouldn't say it's a chore. I actually am really excited to do this because these hydrangeas last year and the year before, oh my gosh, so beautiful. So many flowers. Cannot tell you how much I just fell in love with hydrangeas all over again. But let me come up here. I'm coming by the pool area and you're going to see, I'm going to turn this around. Those are all the hydrangeas there. And I cut them about a third down. Even though these are the hydrangeas, you don't typically cut down to the ground because they have buds on the previous wood from the year before. This too got a lot of damage, not as much as the secret garden area, but this area got a ton. So I went through yesterday and I checked each individual branch. If it was dead, pulled the whole thing out. If it wasn't, I cut it about a third down and reshaped it because you're also going to see, I'm going to turn the camera around. You're also going to see, because it got so big last year, do you see my grass? Wah, wah. I need to put some seed down. So what I'm going to do for the next few minutes is I'm going to do a time lapse so you can see me putting down the fertilizer that goes around each of these hydrangea beds now that I've trimmed them up. But then I'm also going to put some seed down, and then I'm going to give it a good old-fashioned deep drenched water. And then after that, I'm also going to go back over there to my vegetable garden and water my lettuce that's growing in. So enjoy the time lapse as I get my chores done. Okay, you guys, my hair looks lovely. I have to tell you, I had one more happy moment just now. I just looked down and let me show you what I found. Let's see, where'd they go? I swear I saw, look, right there. Where did he go? There, oh, there. You see that little green guy? And there's one here, another one there, and another one poking out right there. You guys, the onions are coming. I'm telling you, embrace life's little moments like this. It goes a long way. The relief that the onions are taking means there's promise. Another day of growth. Woohoo! So we got a lot done, and it's just the morning now to get some work done. But before I sign off for the day, I have to say again, thank you all for the love and support. My goal is to give that back to all of you watching every day or whenever you're watching these videos. I can just tell you, I honestly didn't plan on little things like the lettuce and the onion coming up today. And I think that's very symbolic almost metaphoric of where I'm hoping my journey takes me. But yeah, I'm about to log into my computer and do the LinkedIn and Indeed dance. Who knows what'll bring, but this is what I know, you guys. If you're in the same boat as I am, it's okay if you're mad and it's okay if you're sad, but do yourself a favor and get up. Do yourself a favor and get out. Meaning, if you don't know where to start to look for a new job, at least get your mind moving. Go out for a walk. Go plant a flower. Do something that allows your momentum to move towards being stronger, towards being braver. And I'm here to tell you, we're all different in so many different ways, and it's not going to be easy. But what I know for a fact is that I'm going to find joy and happiness in every day. And you, with all of your responses just from yesterday's video, you did that for me today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Looking forward to see you tomorrow. As you may notice over my shoulder, there's still an Easter bunny out. And with everything going on, I'm a little delayed in getting things done. So my goal tomorrow is to, yes, tend my garden and do that as my morning routine with the remainder of my cup of coffee. And then I give myself 2 to 3 hours of doing the job search thing. But then it's going to be all about packing up Easter. And so I will do that. And if you like to see that, join me. We'll do some tips and tricks on storing things for the holidays, because I store a lot of stuff, and a lot of people ask me, where do you put all of your holiday decor? So I'll do a little bit of that tomorrow. That'll make me feel productive. And when that project's done, it'll also make me feel very happy. So with that, you guys, I'll end you with the final quote of the day. But till tomorrow, thank you so much. Mwah. Bye.